Before ReKolekt existed, before any of this, there was a name that carried a lot of weight for me. CnKole's. To a lot of people, that name doesn't mean much anymore. To some, it means that guy who cheated, and to a few, it probably still means disappointment. But to me, it was everything I built my identity around. My content, my friends, my community, all of it tied to that name, and one decision destroyed it. This isn't a response video. This isn't me defending myself or clapping back at some clip. Nobody's calling me out right now. This is me finally saying what I should have said a long time ago. The truth, the full story, from the start to the end. I'm not making this to clear my name. I'm not making this to redeem myself. I've already accepted what's happened. This is for the people who stuck around, the ones who kept watching even when they didn't know if they should or not, and for anyone who's ever looked at someone doing better than them in a game and thought, yeah, they've got to be cheating. Because that's where my story starts. Back then, DMZ was the thing. Everyone was grinding it. Solo runs, squad raids, challenges, extraction records. Every streamer was dropping in, chasing their next big clip, and I was right there in the middle of it. I wasn't the best player in the world, but I wasn't bad either. And in a game like DMZ, where visibility, sound, and timing all mattered, even one good read could look suspicious. So when I started winning more gunfights, when I started dropping more people in solos than I used to, when I started getting better at the game, the whispers started. At first, it was just background noise. Twitch chat doing what Twitch chat does. People who didn't want to believe you could just get better. But then it kept happening. Every time I posted a clip, someone new popped up in the comments. Soft aim, walling, pre-aiming through walls, bros cooked. Doesn't matter if it was legit play. If I had sound cued someone or watched them cross in the distance, if it looked too clean, people just assumed the worst. And that's the part nobody talks about. It starts to wear on you. Every time someone calls you a cheater, you start to wonder what you're even proving anymore. I wasn't trying to be a pro. I just liked creating content, showing cool moments, high stakes runs. But when every single one of those moments gets questioned, you start to feel cornered. So I had an idea. If I could show people what cheating actually looked like, what it looked like when someone really was using cheats, then maybe I could kill those accusations for good. I'd make a video breaking it all down, show the reality behind the walls, the aim assist, the aimbot, all of it. Expose the truth so people could tell the difference between a legit player and a cheater. That was the plan. So I found a site. I bought access for a month. And in that moment, I crossed a line I never thought I would. I told myself it was for content, that it was to help people understand. But deep down, I knew better. That's where it started, and it's where everything else began to fall apart. When I bought them, I told myself it was for the right reason. I wasn't going to play with them, I was going to record them, expose them, show people what cheating actually looked like. But there was a problem. The cheats I'd paid for blocked recording or streaming of the footage. Anytime I tried to record, my screen froze. I couldn't capture gameplay, I couldn't even use NVIDIA highlights. So I was stuck with a full month access I couldn't refund or use for what I wanted to use them for. And I remember sitting there, staring at that screen, telling myself, I'll just run one match just to see how it works. That's how it starts. You convince yourself it's harmless, that it's temporary, that you're still in control, but the second that round starts and you see everything, the map, the players, the movement, it hits you how easy it really is, how much power it gives you. And when you've spent months defending yourself against people saying you're cheating, seeing what it actually looks like, it feels like you're staring into the mirror version of yourself. I played one match, then another, and every time it felt worse. But it also felt better. Worse because I knew it wasn't earned, better because it looked clean as hell. But that's the trap. You start chasing that perfect footage, that content moment, and the longer you play like that, the easier it gets to justify it. Oh, it's just one clip, it's just one stream. It's not like I'm ranked or anything. You tell yourself anything you need to keep that guilt quiet. At first, I thought I could stop whenever I wanted. I told myself once I got enough examples for the video, I'd uninstall and be done. But it never worked out that cleanly. Because once you felt that advantage, even for a few games, it changes how you see every fight after that. You start noticing how blind you were before, how random everything feels without it, and suddenly, every loss feels unfair. That's when I knew I was slipping. That month went by fast, and I didn't record a single frame of the expose I'd planned. Instead, I had gameplay that looked better than I'd ever played before. Numbers that were climbing, people noticing, and a voice in my head saying, "Why stop now?" That's the slope. You never plan to slide down it. You just wake up one day and you're at the bottom. It didn't happen overnight. It was small decisions, one after another, that got me here. I told myself it was just for testing, just to show people what the cheats looked like. But then I kept using them. I paid for a month, and by the time I realized what that meant, I was already on the slope. The part no one talks about is how easy it is to justify to yourself. I told myself, just one more game, just until the sub runs out, just so I can make content. But every match made me care less about why I started, until I wasn't testing anything anymore. I was just cheating. The worst part wasn't even the cheating. It was knowing I could stop and not stopping. Every clip that blew up after that felt fake, and it was. That's when it stopped being about content. It stopped being about the fun. It started being about control. I didn't want to be good anymore. I just didn't want to lose. And that's when CnKole's started falling apart. Not from being exposed, but from me realizing I already had been. By myself. When it all stopped, it didn't feel like a choice. It just ended. The uploads, the streams, the DMs, all of it went quiet. The noise that used to fill every part of my day was gone. And what was left was just me, and the echo of everything that I'd done. People wrote my story for me. Some said I'd quit, some said I was banned, and honestly, for a while, I didn't care enough to correct them. I didn't even recognize the person they were talking about anymore. I thought about deleting everything, every video, every clip, every reminder of what I'd done, but I couldn't, because deleting it meant pretending it never happened, and I didn't deserve that kind of clean slate. I didn't record, I didn't stream, I didn't open OBS once. I just disappeared. The silence lasted longer than I expected, but it taught me something. It taught me what happens when the grind stops, and the person behind the screen has to look at what's left. And for a while, there wasn't much left to look at. But silence doesn't last forever. Eventually the noise comes back, and when it does, it sounds different. Coming back wasn't easy. It wasn't about making a video or chasing views. It was about proving to myself that I could still do this the right way. No shortcuts, no scripts running in the background, just me, the game, and the grind. I didn't announce it. I didn't make a comeback post. I just went live. One viewer at a time, one game at a time. I started over. ReKolekt wasn't about rebranding. It was about rebuilding. It was about taking everything I'd broken and learning from it. Not hiding from the name CnKole, but evolving beyond it. I wanted the content to feel real, honest, something that people could watch and know. There's no tricks behind it, just skill, time, and patience. I knew I couldn't erase what I'd done, and honestly, I didn't want to, because without that, ReKolekt wouldn't exist. Sometimes the only way forward is by owning what tried to end you. This wasn't redemption. It was acceptance. And it was the first time in a long time that I actually enjoyed playing the game again. The first test came faster than I thought it would. The second I started uploading again, people remembered the clips, the past, the accusations. It didn't matter what I said or how clean the gameplay was, the label was still there. Once a cheater, always a cheater. I could have ignored it. I could have made a response video. And in fact, I did make a response video. I just never released it. I let the footage speak for itself. Every raid, every fight, every death, all raw. Because this time, I didn't have anything to hide. It wasn't about being perfect. It was about being real. And slowly, people started to notice. Not everyone, but enough to remind me that I could still earn it back. But that doesn't mean I didn't think about it. About how easy it would have been to go back, to install something again, to silence the doubt instantly. But that's not winning. That's running. Real wins, real growth come from the games you don't take shortcuts in. The ones that push you, the ones that break you down and force you to rebuild under pressure. That's what the test was really about. Not proving I could play clean, but proving I could stay clean, even when no one was watching. That test never really ends, but for the first time since I started all this, it finally felt like I was passing it. I could tell my story 100 times, and I did, but it only means something if other people believe it too. But that's when I realized this wasn't just my redemption arc anymore. It was everyone who ever gave me a second chance after knowing who I was and what I did. When I came back, not everyone trusted me, and honestly, I didn't expect them to. Trust isn't earned through words, it's earned through consistently, through showing up clean, focused, day after day after day. Little things like that meant more than they knew, because when your name's been dragged through the dirt, rightfully so, every small sign of belief feels like sunlight. The crazy part is, I didn't ask for forgiveness. I just wanted to play right this time, and somehow, that was enough for some people, enough to start changing the story.
Yeah, I was one of the ones who called him out back then, but seeing him now, he's different. You can feel it. He didn't defend himself with excuses. He just came back, did the work, and earned it. It's not about being perfect. It's about owning what you did and growing past it. And that's exactly what he did.
I didn't know how much I needed to hear that. Not because I wanted validation, but because I wanted to know this wasn't all for nothing. The past didn't vanish, but it stopped being the headline. And for the first time in a long time, I wasn't the villain anymore. I was just a player trying to be better than yesterday. That's the power of rebuilding. Not everyone will believe in you, but the ones who do, they make all of the difference. Rebuilding isn't about going back. It's about starting again from the wreckage of what you destroyed. Every file, every clip, every late night I spent editing. It wasn't about views anymore. It was about finding my rhythm again. ReKolekt wasn't just a new name. It was a reset button. I wanted it to mean something honest. A reminder that I could take everything I'd done wrong and rebuild from it. People think rebuilding is loud. Big speeches, big comebacks, but it's quiet. It's the kind of progress no one claps for until suddenly they do. I started to rebuild my craft. Better pacing, better storytelling, better me. Every time I hit record, it wasn't about redemption anymore. It was just about creation. The rebuild wasn't just about one game. It was about everything I make, from DMZ to Warzone to even Terminal Zero. Each piece was a step forward, a layer of trust, brick by brick. The crazy part? I didn't need to be the best anymore. I just needed to be consistent, because consistency is louder than any accusation. I realized I didn't need to chase what I lost. Sometimes you leave things behind because you've outgrown them. This chapter isn't about what I did, it's about what I'll do next. The rebuild is done. It's time to move forward. I don't know what's next, and honestly, I think that's okay. For the first time, I'm not chasing the next upload, not forcing another story, just letting it breathe. DMZ gave me everything, the highs, the lows, the lessons, and the scars. But every story has an ending, and if I'm being real, this one's been written for a while. I don't know if I'll ever make another DMZ video. Maybe one day, maybe never. But I'm not done playing it. Sometimes I'll still drop in just to see what's changed, or more likely what hasn't changed. Whatever comes next, it won't be rushed. It'll be something I believe in. Something that means something, because I've learned that not every story needs a sequel. Some just need a proper ending. I'm not here to prove anything anymore. I'm here to make something worth remembering. To change anyone's mind. I made it so I could move forward. If you watched all the way through, thank you. It means more than you realize.